Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. As you can see, I'm sat here having my cup of tea, and I thought I'd have a chat with you and tell you what I've been up to. So I'm Nikki, I'm Sew&Snip. If you're a subscriber and returning to see me again today, thanks for following along on my journey. If you're new, it's great to meet you, and I hope you enjoy what you hear. So today I thought I'd do a quick catch up. It's another Friday Sews, just to tell you what I've been doing, what I've been up to, what I've actually made. So not a huge amount of sewing this last week. I'm slightly pre-recording this because on Friday we're going away for the weekend. So lucky enough to get heading off, not very far, but just to get away for a few days. So I thought I'd pre-record this today. So yeah, since last week's catch up, I've been doing lots of babysitting. I've had my eldest two grandchildren, picked them up from school a couple of days, and then I had one of my younger grandchildren for the day, and yeah, had a lovely day spent with her. So yeah, it's been quite busy. We popped down to the allotment and started doing a bit more clearing down there. So I haven't had a huge amount of sewing, but I've managed to get this one finished. So before we start talking about that, I'll tell you what I'm wearing. Reasonably old makes today that got on because I'm all ready for work. But this is the Nora sweater from Tilly and the Buttons. This is the longer length, as you see, nice and loose, in this nice soft velour. And then I'm wearing it today with the first pair of high-waisted ginger jeans I made in a brown twill. So yeah, well-worn outfits, but nice and comfortable. So yes, get on to the sewing. So I made the Ellie Mac Arctic Pullover sweater for my husband. Now I think on my last video I shared the cover photo of this one and said it was all cut out. So yes, I thought I'd cover today what I thought about it and the fabric, and hopefully I'll add in some photos of him actually wearing it. I'll get him to try it on. Well, he's tried it on, but I'll get him to put it on so that I can take some proper photos later. So as I said, Ellie Mac patterns. Now this pattern, sorry, I have got notes because otherwise I'd forget to tell you some of the information. So the pattern comes in an extra small to a 5XL. So that's a 32 to 60 inch chest. It's 81 centimetres to 152 centimetres. And it's also drafted for a height of 5'10". I also like on the pattern, they don't actually give finished sizes for the garment, but obviously I tend to measure the pattern pieces just to make sure. But I have made an Ellie Mac sweatshirt for my husband before, so I knew what size range he fitted into. And this is the extra large. But I also like that it gives a bicep measurement as well, so you can make sure, especially when you're making for some men, obviously you may need to check around the arm if they've got a bit extra muscle, you know, to make sure that it fits. There's nothing more uncomfortable than tight sleeves. So yeah, so that's sort of the sizing on it. It's a PDF pattern, and it comes with A4, letter print, AO and projector files. I sent mine off and got printed in the AO rather than print out the A4. It doesn't have too many pieces, and also they do tell you what pages you need to print for which version if you're printing in the AO. So I have done that before, but I had some other patterns to print out, so I sent them all off to get them printed. So the Arctic Pullover, it comes with different options. It's relaxed fit with a slightly dropped shoulder, long sleeve with a cuff and a bottom band. You can do the zip neck, which is the version I've done, but also with a button placket and a turtleneck version. So I'll put the cover photo back in again here so you can see the different versions. So it's nice to give you plenty of options. I would say it's unisex as well. There are some pictures of their testers, so females wearing it as well. And I am quite tempted to make myself one in this. It's the first time I've done the zip neck before. So yeah, it was interesting, something new to learn, and yeah, it came together quite well. So actually making it up, lots of instructions. I didn't print out the instruction booklet. I did that on the, followed that on the computer. But yeah, lots of instructions. They give their pictures as in photographs, not in diagrams. I know some people find that more confusing. Some people find it easier. I found it quite easy. The only thing that I made the mistake of doing was I didn't read all the instructions through first. So, I just sort of skimmed the first one and it said, oh, do this for the button placket version, and then the next steps, something else. I just jumped straight in. What I should have done is jumped a whole section down to where it started with the zipper construction. So my tip would be read the whole instructions through first to make sure you're following the right instructions. It didn't make much difference. It just meant to start with I added too much interfacing into this section here. But luckily I reheated it and took it back off and redid it. But yeah, so my tip, read through. So yeah, photographs on there, but lots of information. They've got details about adjustments you can make to the pattern, how you should add the length, how you can alter different parts of it. And yeah, I found the instructions quite clear once I'd actually taken the time to read them through. They do actually do a sew along as well on YouTube. I didn't go and look at that one, but it's a great option if you prefer to sew along with somebody in front of you. So I think that's all the sort of main things I wrote on there. So with my version, as you can see, I made it out of this fleece. Now this is a heavy comfort fleece. It's one of the core range fabrics from Minerva, and they've actually sent it to me as part of my ambassador post. So that's the outside, or the right side, sort of almost like a teddy bear fleece, I'd call it, but it's got a brushed back, so it's lovely and soft. It's 100% polyester, so it's quick to dry, and yeah, just easy wearing. It's lovely to sew with. It wasn't too bulky. I was a bit worried when I was sewing these bits that the amount of layers, that it might feel a bit bulky, but it wasn't too bad at all for what the class is a heavyweight fabric. Now the pattern actually asks for more stretch than what this fabric has. I think they ask for a 50% stretch across the width and a 25 in length. Now it's a loose fit, so I wasn't quite sure why we needed quite that much stretch, apart from if you were doing the turtleneck. So you definitely would need it if you did the turtleneck version. But this one's quite loose fit, so it didn't require that much stretch. This fabric has only got a 10% stretch across the width and then 20% on the length. That's according to the details on the Minerva website. I must admit, I haven't actually measured it myself to check, because it does feel like it's got slightly more stretch than that. But yeah, it's a nice weight fabric. It's got a nice amount of recovery stretch to it. So I made the size according to my husband's measurements. As I said, he measures a extra large, so it's a 44-inch chest. He is quite long-bodied, so we have found that the last sweatshirt I made, it's long enough, but it could do with just a little bit more. So as I had enough fabric, I added an extra 1.5 inches in the length of the body. I also added an extra inch in the sleeve, because sometimes these sleeves are a little bit short as well. And yeah, I'm really happy with the fit. Well, I think it fits in well. So yeah, as I said, I'll show you in the pictures because then you'll be able to see. So yeah, so that was my make for this week. I sewed most of it on the overlocker, as in the seams and attaching the bands. Obviously with the zip section, that was done on my normal machine. If I'd have read the instructions right the first time, it would have been a very quick make if I hadn't had to take all the interface and that back off. But yes, basically you sew the shoulder seams together, then add the collar panel, measure your zip, and then make the size of the vent the right size for the length of your zip, and then insert the zip. The only thing I would like to change, if I could think of how to do it, was the fact that obviously on this bit you can see the inside of the zip, so I might have a look to see if I can work out how I could bind that next time. You don't see it in the collar bit, but just if it's worn totally open. But yeah, that's just personal preference. But yeah, not a very long sort of process to make. That was the most fiddly bit. Everything else was straightforward. So that was learning a new technique. So yeah, that was great to do. So that's the zip neck one. I do fancy making him a button neck one as well. I have done button plackets before on a pogo nip. On that top, that's got a button placket, a lot chunkier one. But yeah, really happy with that make, and I will put some photos in. Yeah, so that's it for my sewing this week. I haven't had any new purchases. If you watched last week, you'll know that there was so much fabric. I don't think I'll need to buy any for a while. Sewing plans. As I said, we're going away this weekend, so I don't think I will be getting any sewing done this week. I have cut out another Drew sweatshirt though, the colour block one. So if I do get any little snippets of sewing time before or after our weekend away, I'll be able to get that started. And also I've got my fabric out and I'm working on my outfit for Plymouth Frocktails. I'm not going to share that in this one. I'm not going to share my plans for it because I haven't started it yet, but I'm not going to share my plans for that because I thought I'd do a separate one and show you what I'm going to make for that one, and hopefully share it when I've finished. My jumper that I'm knitting, I have almost finished. I am just sewing up all the side seams, which is the bit I don't like doing. So I'm not letting myself start any other knitting until I've done that. I'm hoping possibly to get that finished so that I can get it blocked, and I'll show you it in next week's Friday sews. But I think that's it for today. It's only a short one, but I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I have made. As I said, this is so cosy and lovely and soft feeling. I'll put the link for the fabric in my notes, and I hope you've been getting to do some sewing or doing something that you've enjoyed, and keeping well, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.